Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I'm Tommy Burton, and today's album is one I'm really excited to be talking about. It's one of my favorite albums by one of my all-time favorite bands. This is Buffalo Springfield again. Now, this is the second album released by Buffalo Springfield, released on November 18th, 1967. And this album, for those of you that are just completely in the dark and have no idea, Buffalo Springfield was Neil Young, the first major band he was in, Mr. Stephen Stills. Also, we've got Richie Furay, in addition to Bruce Palmer, who played bass, and Dewey Martin. And like I said, this was their second album. Now, their biggest hit and most well-known song is the Stephen Stills song, For What It's Worth. Stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. But this album, to me, is more of a collaborative album. I think Neil Young really begins to come into his own. The album kicks off with Mr. Soul, as stated on the back, respectfully dedicated to the ladies of the Whiskey A Go-Go and the women of Hollywood. So that kicks the album off. But it also features other Neil Young sort of early classics like Expecting to Fly and Broken Arrow. But Stephen Stills, also no slacker, also a very good writer and singer in his own right. Every Day's, Hung Upside Down, Rock and Roll Woman, all really great classic Buffalo Springfield songs. But again, Richie Furay was no slacker, and that guy was a big part of that band. A Child's Claim to Fame, Good Time Boy, all really, really great songs. This to me, I think Buffalo Springfield probably could be listed as one of the best bands in America during this time period. They were definitely on par with some of the best music being written and recorded around that time. And I put them right up there with the Byrds and any of those groups, in addition to being just a great rival to bands like the Beatles and what they were doing. Now, in addition to the album just being a classic, the thank you list on the back is really, really notable. And just the highlighted names: Fred Neil, Ken Coblin, Jim Friedman, Jack Nietzsche, and Bob Gibson. But in addition, like people like Peter Noon, Nurrit Wild, John Lee Hooker. This is a great thank you list. Eric Clapton, Chip Douglas, Vanilla Fudge. There's just a lot of great thank yous on this album. Now, this one I'm showing is my prized mono copy on the Atco label. And actually, this is a beloved Monarch pressing. But just because I am a sucker, I also have stereo copies. And just because I do, I have two stereo copies. One's a later pressing. But I don't know that there's a preference on this. Now, the first album, you definitely want to go, I think, with mono. I think the stereo mix is terrible on the original first Buffalo Springfield album. But on Again, I think the stereo mix is a nice mix, and it works well. But this is just a classic album from 1967. There's not a weak track to be found anywhere on this record. Even like just something silly like Good Time Boy, which Richie Furay wrote, but it features Dewey Martin primarily. It's a great track, and this band is just one of the fantastic American groups of this time period, and worthy of all the attention that they receive. Buffalo Springfield again, today's Daily Record. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Tommy Burton75. I usually show what I'm spinning there. Please check out my regular channel, Tommy Burton's VC channel. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Daily Record.